Five, four, three, two, and Fraser Cottrell. Welcome to Cam Talks.
Hello.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. How are you, mate?
I'm okay, mate. Yeah, it's been a long time. We just discussed about how long it's been since we last saw each other, and like 3 years, maybe more.
Something like you're from my dear community up in Manchester that I sometimes wake up in the morning and think, why did I ever leave?
Yeah,
But
most people do that end up leaving to London. I mean, I'd question your sanity by moving to London, but that's not my place to judge. So
no, no, but listen, I mean, you've always been very good at ignoring shiny things. You and the Fraggle team are so good at just staying on point with what it is you do. People like myself, mate, you get one job offer, you're like, I'm down. I'm in a,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, like it's definitely been weird, especially over like ever since forming Fraggle and stuff. Like I've had job offers. People have given me offers and said, come and work for me. I'll pay you this much, and and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. I'm sure that'd be really nice to do, and I'm sure my girlfriend would thank me for having all that extra money. But it's just
You'd
it's
spend
not.
it straight
Yeah,
away on your
yeah,
rent.
exactly. Yeah, but by the time I've told her about the job offer, she's already spent it. However, like I just couldn't imagine doing anything other than working for myself. It kind of seems bizarre, to be honest.
Oh, mate. Well, it's wonderful. So let's do a quick rundown on who Fraser is and tell us a little bit about Fraggle.
Okay, so I am a co-founder of a social first video agency called Fraggle Productions. We're based here in Manchester, and we basically make videos for brands to put online. That's basically like the simplest way to put it. So anything from like paid social media ads to like organic stuff for like the purposes of eventually going viral. Work with brands like Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo Man, Nissan, Papa John's, like some pretty big names,
Wow.
all from 250 square foot office in Manchester, and there's only three of us, so pretty good.
So I've not met your third one. I know Nick.
Yeah.
But so who's the
So Hannah is like account manager, kind of producer, kind of picks up the slack from me and Nick basically. She came on as an intern about a year or two ago, and then she stuck with us. And now she's like full time member of staff. She helps us, yeah, with basically everything. She writes the social rundown and stuff like that, and then she works heavily on the business as well. So it's yeah, it's good. It's good having another person there that isn't Nick that I see pretty much every day. So it's good. And also it's good to have a girl in the office. Oh my goodness, it's so different. That like, thankfully she's very accepting of the boyish ways of the office. But she fits in really well. She's local to us, so she has all the same, pretty much the same friend network as well, which is very weird. But yeah, no, it's good. It's yeah, if you are two guys, one guy that run an agency, you need to get a girl in because it's just honestly the different points of view of the female perspective when they come into the office is a brilliant thing to have.
what's the biggest sort of thing that you've learned working with the opposite sex?
Yeah, I think just having just having somebody in general being able to actually manage. I think like actually manage somebody is like the biggest thing, whether they're male or female, whatever. Coming from somebody which has had a business partner for so long, and we're both on the same playing field. I can't really tell Nick what to do. He can't really tell me what to do. But like having Hannah there is someone who is actually reliant on us to, what am I going to do today, Fraser? Oh, okay, well, you can do this. Yeah, but I think, especially since we work in a lot of very female oriented like environments, like fashion, we do a lot with makeup and beauty bay and people like that. So having a female there to explain the female mind helps a
It's
lot when
pretty
we're coming up with
essential, right?
ideas. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, amazing. And so obviously you and Nick, I mean, you both seem like, just ultra creative people. So having that kind of management person in there is pretty integral to your growth, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, over the time, over the past like 3-4 years that we've been doing this, I've slowly found kind of my footing in more of like the management side of the company. Like the business dev stuff as well as like the day to day management of the company. It is like I never thought. I did a filmmaking degree. I never thought in a million years I'd be managing a business, and like more and more that kind of world I've become more familiar with it, and I enjoy it a lot more. I actually enjoy being a business person and like, saying that I run my own business and all the kind of stuff that comes with it. Whereas like 3 years ago, I would have been like, no, there's no way that I could do that. Like me and Nick were talking, we were like, if it ever does end up taking off, like, would we hire a CEO? Would we let somebody else come in and do that side of it? But like now, like I'm pretty happy in kind of the position where I am. Because we're a small agency, I still get to do creative stuff every day. I still get to edit client projects, but I also, deal with all the client side of stuff. Whereas Nick just does projects basically. Nick doesn't really touch the client side anymore.
That's incredible because, being like having business forced upon you as a necessity, just because, I mean, let's face it, like, we're both, filmmakers who have both did a film degree. And it almost felt like there was a time in sort of 2010, 2011 where, these marketing agencies are mostly made up of like traditional people, like journalists or whatever it was. And suddenly like video people just rise to the top of the pile. And we had all these opportunities to work with brands and then suddenly and agencies.
Yeah.
And then you get a peek inside an agency. You're like, what a mess. Like, what's going on? Like,
that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Like I've worked with my fair share of agencies. I've worked for a massive agency. And the same thing always happens when I come out of it. I'm like, I don't know how people can function in that environment. Like, I don't know. Like, the one thing that's always annoyed me about agency and working for someone else is just the fact that I could spend a week on a project. And I'm like, that is amazing. That's the best thing I've ever made. And then, the boss goes off, presents it to the client, and they take all the credit. And I never get a say in it. It's basically, oh, yeah, our video team did this. No, I did that. Correction. Like, that's always been the most annoying thing. And that's why I enjoy doing Fraggle and us being quite a small agency, because whenever people say, oh, you did really good work, people can put a face to the name straight away. They like in WhatsApp chats with our clients, they know who is working on what, and they'll be like, thanks, Nick, for that. Thanks, Fraser. Like it's much more, you actually get a sense of pride of what you're doing more than just, thank you, this agency, really great. Let's move on to the next one.
I completely feel you there, man. And it's weird because sometimes when you see these agencies accepting awards for big work and you see all these people and you're like, yeah, which one of them is the actual?
Yeah, exactly. It's always the CEO up there saying, thanks everyone, my team did such hard work. Well, actually, you were probably sat back in some other meeting somewhere else, meeting with another client. Like most, like as soon as you get past the stage of like 15 people, normally the CEO doesn't deal with, like the average day stuff anymore because they have bigger fish to fry. That's not their fault. That's just the direction, that they went. That's why they have 15 staff, so they can do that, right? So yeah, you'll find that as soon as an agency passes about 15 people, that's it. Like, nobody will ever get a personal thank you for what they do in anything. It's just a team effort.
The thing is though, is that like, it seems like you're always involved in the work that you do. You're always on set. You're always in the edit.
Oh, you've cut out the whole of that question. Your audio just went.
We'll try one more time.
All right, go on.
You're always on set, man. Like, and I'm always wondering, when is the day going to come when I see somebody else in your chair?
Yeah, that's the thing.
And doing all that stuff. But it's tough because I think that, why should you grow for the sake of growth? Particularly when you're trying to make the best product for your client. Like, by nature, you growing is going to give them maybe more capabilities, but maybe less value.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every single thing that we've ever shot, it will be the me or Nick there. Like, or the majority of the time, both of us. Like, that's, people know, us as Fraggle. We are Fraggle. When we turn up, they're like, these are the guys that have been making our stuff from the ground up, right? And I do really like that. And obviously, we do want to expand, and I want to get another video guy in, I want to get another editor. But I think that it's really important that the client does meet those people. They know who they're talking to, and they're working on that project from the very start. If I put a video guy and an editor on a job, I'd want them to come along with me to the client meetings to be like, okay, this is Tom, Dick, and Harry. These are going to be working on your video, right? Because having that relationship is so much better than some nameless, some name on an email which is being sent back and forth, right? So, yeah, I mean, I imagine there will come a time where I have to take a back seat and be like, okay, you guys go and do that, but I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to stay on the business side of it and just become like, just the average like CEO just runs the company, or whether I'll just, kind of take care of the creative stuff. I honestly have no idea. I'm just kind of waiting.
You're going to be the average CEO, mate.
No, never.
You've definitely developed yourself and your kind of career in a time that is just the most prosperous for entrepreneurs. And yeah, I mean, I see a huge difference between you and everyone else out there, because you're not afraid to put your secret online. I mean, like, you've genuinely embraced the online community.
Yeah.
So much so that, like, if anyone else wants to get in on this game, they're going to have to do much better than you. And every day you're appearing on my timeline, and it's amazing. So tell me about the Social Rundown series, because I first became obsessed with this when you started it. And in all honesty, mate, I thought, well, it would be good for 6 weeks, and then,
Yeah, mate, so did I. Don't worry. I thought that as well. Yeah, we started it. So basically, the Social Rundown started because we moved into our first office, me and Nick, and I was like, oh my God, I finally got all this space to film. I was like, this is amazing. Think of all the stuff I could do. So, and basically, when we first moved into the office, we had a bit of downtime towards like the end of the year. Basically, like most video companies do, they tend to, have a peak in the summer. And then, the winter is normally a bit pants because nobody wants to film. So we had this time, and I was like, I was really bored. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I need something to do. So I noticed that I didn't see anywhere a place, like a marketing agency making anything that was anything like it, like reporting on the news of their industry. It seems like a basic thing. They all do a blog. Every bugger has a blog. And I hate the written format. I can't write. I have dyslexia. It's the worst. So I thought, okay, well, if I make a piece of content every single week, which is really easy to consume, the roundup of like the top 3 stories in marketing and social media, people can watch it for 2 minutes. Well, it was meant to be a minute. That's where I started, but that went out of the window a long time ago. But it was meant to be like a minute. They watch it, and then that's it. They know the 3 main stories that happen in that week. So if they ever come in conversation, when they're at a meeting or anything like that, they have some kind of background story for what it was. So we started doing it, and then it just carried on. Basically, it was just me for a long time doing everything. I'd set up the camera, everything like that, and I'd present it really jankily to the camera. And then when Hannah came in, one of her jobs that I tasked her, because we kind of had like a bit of a break, because basically we moved office. I didn't have a proper space to shoot because it was a smaller office, and I didn't have the time most of all. So Hannah came in, and her first task, I said to her, okay, I want you to take this. I want you to produce it. I want you to write it, everything. I want to come in on the shooting day, cameras set up. I walk in, read it, edit it, you subtitle it, you do all the rest, you upload it, and then that's that. And then that's been like one of her main roles since then. So like,
and so tell me, where does she get this news from? Because the news is not just like, oh, Facebook's organic reach is going down. It's like, this is game-changing stuff that is like so quick. From where the hell does this marketing news come from, man?
Yeah, well, basically, it's like Hannah throughout the week will monitor like a few blogs, a few kind of things, to kind of see what's happening, as well as like LinkedIn and stuff like that. Like a lot of people post social news before anybody else, Twitter and stuff like that. We're starting to use like social listening tools now. So like you can create a feed of your main kind of things that you talk about. So whenever they're mentioned in RSS feeds or on Twitter by a certain influencer, it'll come up.
And Isn't that a little bit weird though, man? Like the whole social listening stuff. I feel like it's really kind of, it scares me a little bit. That
it is.
Using this data against us.
Like, well, I mean, for us, and I think for a lot of like news sources, it's just the quickest way to find stuff. Like like I can. If Facebook release a new feature, the second that such a blog reports it, or such a like somebody that like leaks the early stuff, as soon as they tweet about it, I have it on my feed, and we can add that, and we can be the first ones to talk about it. And that's how social is reactive in nature. Unless you're fast on things, it isn't going to happen, right? So yeah, so Hannah is like monitoring all this stuff throughout the week. She'll be adding it to like a script, and then she will, on Wednesday, she divides that up between headline stories, which I'm going to report on Friday, and then lesser headline stories, which then go out in our newsletter on a Wednesday, basically.
Incredible, man. I can't believe the amount of knowledge that you have of social media. Like, just considering the fact that, even when we first met, it was like you and Nick were very much like, give me a camera, I'll go and shoot something. And watching your journey, particularly from the start of the Social Rundown, but seeing the amount of knowledge that you've gained, and it's all forever changing, right? I mean, social media is just I don't know. How do you feel about social media, man? Do you
I mean,
it's just too much? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Like Nick knows nothing about social media. Nick is like literally like Nick doesn't really touch Instagram, doesn't he basically doesn't do much on social media. So it's like I'm normally the person advising on all that stuff. I'm the person the clients come to talk about this stuff. Nick just makes the films and that's that. And that's fine, like, but as a social first video agency, we need to have a good knowledge of what works on social and what's changing, because what changes in social can affect everything so massively. I think social media is great in proportion, the same as everything. Like as part of my job, I have to manage Instagram feeds, and I have to, like I'm logged into like 5 or 6 Instagram pages at a time. And I find myself, I very rarely go on my personal Instagram page anymore. It's kind of just there.
It's dropped off, mate. You used to be.
Yeah, yeah, again, yeah, but because it became obsessive, and I was like, and I was on it all the time, and I didn't see the point. I don't want to be a photographer. I don't want to be an Instagram influencer. Like I want to run my own business, and I want to, like it was just distracting me from what is actually really important. So now I just use it to see what my friends are doing. If I take a nice photo when I'm going about, then I'll post it. And I think too many people take Instagram and stuff so much more seriously than they should do. And it becomes, kind of obsessive. And especially, I understand that it is people's jobs and stuff, but if it's not your job and you're doing it because you feel like, one day you might go viral and this and that. I'm going to be honest, if you've been at it 2 years and you haven't gone viral, it's probably not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. But this is really tough pill to swallow, man, because, all of these older companies who never wanted to embrace digital have now been hit with, coronavirus like everyone. And it seems like they suddenly now realize the value of digital. And do you not think it's a bit too late? I mean, I kind of want to say this to some people that I meet, but you're a bit like, oh God, your business is going under.
Yeah.
And you've got time to be building.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that, like, for instance, the Social Rundown has a bunch of people who watch it every week regardless, right? And that's because we've made it for 2.5 years. Yeah, exactly. Like that's because we've been making it for 2.5 years. Like it's not, if I, and that's because of the following that we've built over that time, right? If you suddenly decide to do, if you suddenly decide to start posting on Instagram every single day, it's going to take a year or two for the algorithm to even realize what you're doing. Like, it's not, like perfect example of like starting from scratch. We have a makeup page, and it's just hit 100,000 followers today, and that we started in September last year, and we've posted every single day. At the start, we were posting every single hour of the day.
Wow.
Yeah, and that got us in the first month 100 followers.
Why do you do this, man? Why do you create social accounts? So I know that you have a beauty account, and then the Schmidt is it?
Dwight Schrute, The Office.
No idea.
Yeah. Well, see that. So all that was just my hobby, and now that's turned into a completely different business away from Fraggle. So like that, it's just I just found myself in this position where I was earning money from Instagram accounts and from Facebook accounts, and I was like, a lot of people do it, but none of them turn it into a business and then, actually scale up from that. So that's what we're doing at the moment. So like, we're looking at like seed and investment for that and stuff like that. So that'll be a completely different beast in like a year's time, hopefully.
Oh, man. It sounds like a good time to be, just reconciling your thoughts, figuring out like where Fraggle's going to go next. Because I mean, I imagine that the work, had a sudden stop to it when all this is.
I mean, obviously shooting stopped. Basically, there's no other way that, like I saw some people like the second that the restrictions were lifted, they were trying to get jobs, and I was like, it's not worth it. I'm not into it. Like, until I can guarantee safety for my staff, for the staff's family, for everything like that, we ain't going nowhere. Like, because the last thing that I want, and I'm sure the last thing a client wants, is that somebody comes into contact with somebody that has it, they take it home, and they see their grandma, and the grandma dies. Like, as horrible as that sounds, I imagine that happens a lot. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of the second wave. So for us, we've just basically said goodbye to shooting, until there's, like a vaccine or something has, there's been a groundbreaking change in what's happening.
Wow, that's a real
Um,
shame, man. Like I know the equipment that you guys have, and I'd hate to think it's gathering dust right now.
yeah, it literally is in our office. Like it's insane. Like everything, it's like you walk in there, everything was set up the same as like the day we
Oh,
left. It's really depressing. But like, yeah, I mean, obviously, like we aren't, if for instance, like we do a lot of ecom shoots and stuff like that, which is in the studio. If we can do that, and like even Nick can just go in and do that on his own, which a lot of this shooting is, then that's fine. Like, or I can go in on my own and we can do it that way. Like, that's fine. We can still serve quite clients filming like that. But in terms of filming with a crew and filming at a client's premises and stuff like that, probably not going to happen for a while. And I think one of the main reasons it's not going to happen for a while is because the clients aren't willing to make the risk either, to be
yeah.
quite honest.
And that makes a lot of sense, particularly the clients that you've got, like if they're bringing in, particular creative or talent or whatever, I mean, they don't want to take that risk, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's not right now. I don't think it's worth it. I've spoken to the video agencies, and they're starting to get some inquiries, but no, I know very very few people which have actually taken solid bookings, unless they already have big connections in marketing agencies and stuff, which have been plowing at this,
Yeah.
while lockdown has been gone. But what? This has been one of our best quarters because we've fully focused on like our editing side of the business, and we've taken numerous new clients for editing their YouTube videos, stuff like that. Stuff that was kind of taking a back seat back then, and is now like one of our main pieces of income is that we edit for people. Like
Amazing.
LinkedIn. Like we do LinkedIn content plans where we edit their LinkedIn videos. So they can make original content. We edit for YouTubers. We edit for CEOs to make their like vlogs and stuff like that. So it's been a real time to focus on something new and kind of grow our skill sets outside of just filming all the time and being very reliant on one source of income.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, man, because whatever the thing is you're currently doing, it's not going to go out of demand when suddenly the walls are lifted.
Yeah.
It really is, it's an innovative time. And what I say is like I started CamTalks podcast same time that Fraggle started offering podcasts, and it's no secret that I stalk you every fucking day.
Yeah.
Because like genuinely, I'm like, listen, I have not got time to be looking at this person's profile, this person's profile, this person's profile. I've only got time to go and look at one person's profile, and it's always going to be yours, purely because I'm like, I don't care how inspiring your bloody team is or this or that. Like LinkedIn just drives me fucking nuts.
Oh,
I hate
dude,
it so
big
much.
time, yeah.
It's just, what it is like, it's the social platform that I don't want to be on, but I'm on it. And so in my head, I'm like, well, what the fuck am I even doing? What content am I making for people that is useful?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. See, I mean, I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with LinkedIn. I hate some of the people that are on it. They drive me mad with their inspirational stories and their, like standing up for causes they don't really care about all the time. Suddenly, people that I've seen post racist stuff are now the biggest Black Lives Matter supporter going. It's just, it's a people-pleasing platform because you have, the chance of getting a client on it, but I make content on there because it is a lot of my target market are on there. There's no other way to look at it. So I make content there that is providing value and helping people out. And I will make that content, I'll post it up, and I probably won't touch LinkedIn for the rest of the day until I reply to comments, because there's no, that I'm sure I probably should be doing that, but I'm just, I'm not going on the platform when I posted something. I'm just kind of like using it to spread some value, spread some love, and then I'll go do something else because it's just another platform to look at, right?
It's such a time store as well. It just drains all your time, and I think the thing that gets me is the fact that if you really want to get out of LinkedIn what you put into it,
yeah,
you have to be active, and this whole social selling phrase. When I heard that, I just thought, isn't that like contradictory towards being social? Is you're now trying to sell me something, and I see people do it, it's so funny, man. The amount of robots that talk to you, right?
Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn has really helped us grow our inbound a lot, like especially for our LinkedIn like content packages and stuff like that. I don't approach anybody. People come to us, they will message me and say, Fraser, I love what you're doing. Can you help me do the same? And I'll be like, yeah, there you go. Done. There's our deck. Tell me what you think. There's our prices. Let's have a phone call. And then that's that. Like, it's helped us grow that, inbound massively. And I know, for some other similar people that they only get inbound from LinkedIn, because LinkedIn does work. it is a very powerful platform if you're not trying to sell to people 24/7. If you're trying to do that and you're sending people cold messages, it's not going to work. It's past that now.
Oh, mate, but it's not even them sending me a cold message. It's like a robot that's like,
Yeah.
hi, Cam. And I don't really know where this all started or where it's supposed to finish. But I've got a big issue with the fact that no one really talks a lot about, I think that you've definitely covered the subject at some point. But it really annoys me, particularly when, I think it was yesterday, I updated my, my tagline, and it was just like from co-founder to founder. And I got like 100 messages, people telling me like, oh, congratulations, Cam, on your new thing. And I thought, how did they all message me the second?
Because because in LinkedIn Premium, you can see when everybody changed their job title. So the second that they do that, they'll have a bot that detects that and then sends out a message. It's, this is the thing that, I mean, it's any social media platform is easy bottable, and you can, put stuff like that. And, there are a lot of agencies which their whole business model is based on getting a robot to send messages, and it doesn't work. And the reason people don't talk about it is because a lot of people use them, and there are different ones. People are making changes to these bots to make them more of just a time-saving tool in general. For instance, like whenever people add me as a connection and I can see that they've watched my content, I will actively message them and be like, thanks very much. I've seen you in my comments, like, thanks for watching, hope you continue to. Like, that's something a bot could do essentially. And you can still make it personal. You can still make the message personal. That's something a bot can do, but I'm taking time out of my day to do it. That's one way that you could, still use a bot, but just to save time and not to just sell something.
Hey, dude, I've used so many fucking robots in my time just to try and figure out stuff. I don't believe in innovation unless you're willing to test stuff out. And it's incredible. And I've recently been working with an entrepreneurial incubator where they've taken all of my podcasts and they've been trying to train AI to automatically cut up everything and title it and all this kind of stuff. And of course, it sounds great until like 10 p.m. at night, I get a phone call from them saying that their lead investor wants to see this machine in action and it doesn't work. Do you mind if you quickly edit these 30 pieces of content? I'm like, yeah, okay, this is clearly not going to work. But listen, I mean, so the future of social media, from my point of view, it runs on people like yourself who are willing to be open and honest at all points. I'm not going to name any names, but there's particular figures in the marketing world and industries that have quite clearly been very against this unauthenticity. But I've noticed that a lot of people's accounts grow very quickly in certain times. And so my question is, isn't all marketing a lie? And isn't the idea of us to have these huge 250,000 followers just social proof? And actually, do I care if I have to buy 250,000 followers so that my investor thinks that I'm popular?
Yeah.
What the point?
Yeah, well, I mean, that there is one of the main issues that, a lot of brands have, is that, they reach a point in their business. There's a lot happens again and again with fast fashion brands. Perfect example. Fast fashion brands, by nature, they use social advertising to reach their target market, right? A guy sees an advert on Facebook for a new top, they'll click on it and they'll go and buy it. That's how fast fashion works. That's the nature of it, right? That advert needs to be delivered via a social media account, okay? Most people will click on that social media account to see what else they're doing, to see what else they're selling, especially on Instagram. A lot of people will click it and they'll say, oh, this has 25 followers. Well, sketchy, no thank you, not buying it anymore. The person hits that fashion website, they see they have 100,000 followers, they're like, oh, well, thank you very much. They don't pay attention to the like ratio, the comments, because to them, like you said, it's social proof. That's the attitude that a lot of these big major fashion brands have. I know for a fact that there are some of the biggest fashion brands out there, and the way, you can watch on their Socialblade how this works, okay? They'll be gaining, 1,000, 2,000 followers a day, average for, a fairly large account. And then suddenly out of nowhere, 2.1 million, boom. And you're like, how's that happened? They haven't bought them, because buying followers awful for the algorithm. They're not real people. They drop off after about, like 2 months or something. Instead, what they're doing is they're approaching meme accounts, which have, been posting female oriented memes or anything like that. And they will buy that account. They'll say, how much do you want for this account? They'll say, I want, because Instagram accounts are worth a lot of money. They'll say, I want 5,500 for it. They'll go, okay. And it's got, 2 million, whatever. They'll quickly flip it. So they'll rebrand it. They'll put, Fraser's fast fashion on it. They'll rebrand it to look like them. And then they have people at Facebook, at Instagram that can merge that account with their main account.
Dude, this is some scary shit, man. And
nobody is talking about this, but it happens on a daily basis. That's how they grow.
Dude,
look at any fast fashion brand.
I've taken screenshots of particular people's Socialblade trajectory, and I've always compared it to like Gary Vee, because I genuinely feel like he's like just made it organically, and it's changed. Like I go back now, and it's changed. Like the data is different.
Yeah.
And my question is that who the hell gets access to Socialblade Management in order to try and cover up their problems? Because if you're an influencer and you work with an agency who does influencer marketing, they're going to know very, very, very quickly whether or not you are legitimate or not. So genuinely, like my concern is that, I've been screenshotting this stuff because I have to document when I see a massive spike.
Yeah.
But suddenly I go back to it now, and by the way, I still have a whole folder full of screenshots.
Yeah.
I feel like the FBI and the Epstein thing. I'm like, yeah, but I've got a folder full of these photographs that I'm sure would never like to get out. But that's the point about marketing, is that you can do anything when you get to a certain level.
Yeah, 100%. And, and one of the main things about this is that a lot of the platforms are perfectly okay with that. Like they, for instance, like Instagram and Facebook, Facebook, basically, when you reach a certain level, because of how much ad spend you've given them, and they will essentially give you an account manager and access to a new suite of tools, which allows you to basically do everything.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, like, you can, that's how they merge these accounts, because they have that ability. If I want to merge 2 Facebook accounts, I have to make sure they're a similar name. They're not over 50,000 followers, and all this stuff that I have to tick to go through. And then the chances of it actually happening are pretty minimal. If I want to merge 2 Instagram accounts, I can't. It's not possible. But if you have an account manager, you spend enough money with Facebook, you can do whatever the hell you like.
It's crazy, man. Like all this perception of like bigger than others. Like I was on QuickBooks Facebook page the other day, 1.8 million followers, and 7 people were watching their live stream. And it wasn't just any other live stream. It was a live stream with the founder of Frank PR, which is one of my favorite PR companies. And I was just so shocked. I'm like sat there thinking, like where's the 1.8 million people?
Yeah, one of the main issues that Facebook have, with a lot of this stuff, is that the numbers basically don't mean anything anymore. Facebook are a money grabbing platform. They want your money to do anything. If you want to grow a Facebook page, you're basically, the only way to grow a Facebook page now is by spending money on ads. It's the only way. Unless you instantly get a viral hit, which is not going to happen, then you simply aren't going to grow a Facebook page. So what they've probably done is that 1.3 million likes might be real. They might not have bought them, but they've probably ran adverts in order to get that. Those people have clicked like, or because running adverts in nature, people end up following the page. We run Facebook ads, we get followers every day. They don't really mean anything. They've just followed us to be like, oh, maybe one day I'll use these. Follow. So that's what you find a lot of them is very few highly engaged, profiles and stuff like that. So,
but do you think Facebook care? I mean, is it the fact they already have Instagram that they're like, well, if Facebook's not that great for a few years?
Yeah, I mean, they're seeing the trend that young people are dropping off Facebook. You have to be blind to not see that. Like, your young people are dropping off Facebook and they're going, oh, well, it's all right because we've got Instagram. It's fine. They can go wherever they want. Facebook will just become a social media for the older generation, which is fine because, what generation do people want to target in, if they sell mortgages, they're going to want to target, older people. If fashion brands want to target young people, go to Instagram. That's fine. They aren't bothered. They're still making as much money as, as 4 years ago. They aren't, they aren't, they
My
aren't bothered.
question is this, Fraser: who's the best and the worst social platform, just from an ethics point of view?
Um,
Because Twitter seems to me, and this could be clever marketing, but they seem like the most decentralized, the most kind of
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I mean, Twitter have really started to make a bit of a turn. They were kind of dying for a little bit. I thought that Twitter were gonna, kind of be the next to the graveyard. I thought in terms of, kind of like how social media platforms work, but they've seemed to do a turn, and the user base is growing. The CEO actually knows what he's doing. They like the way that they banned adverts about, political parties and stuff like that in October. Like they are making moves to make the place a nicer place. People talk a lot about the hate and stuff on Twitter. By nature, the internet is going to have a lot of hate. When you've got a user base that big, and people get angry. That's just what's going to happen. I think TikTok is the worst. I think TikTok they're already finding themselves in a lot of hot water. That's only going to continue. Um, People say that the audience on there is going to age up. More people are going to come to it. I think before it ages up, it's going to get shut down, or people are going to just lose interest because of how bad the platform is. I think, there aren't that many other platforms like, Instagram are innovating and they're doing new stuff. I really like Instagram as a platform. I think it's really great, but they need a way to reward their top content creators, because soon enough brands aren't going to want to pay direct to these people to get an ad or anything like that. So they're going to need a way to reward it. Facebook saw that change. They saw that they were content creators on Facebook, and they decided to reward them with different schemes like, in-stream ads, stuff like that can be a real moneymaker. Now they have the Facebook gaming and stuff. They're really putting the content creators first and going, okay, you guys are making content on our platform. We're going to give you a cut of the money that we make. Instagram are hopefully going to be doing that with IGTV, but unless they do that soon, they're going to see a lot of influencers drop off there and go to the next big platform because they aren't getting paid for the work they're doing.
It's crazy, mate. It seems like these platforms need the content creators one moment, and the next moment they just need the money, and then they need
exactly.
And then the money. So this is fun. So out of all of the top CEOs in the world right now, if you could take a guess, which one of them do you think would want to run for the president of the United States of America?
Oh my God.
Because I've got a strong feeling that with Trump opening the door to like this celebrity president, that actually few of them may want to. I mean, I've never seen Mark Zuckerberg wearing a suit as much as I have recently.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, that's different.
Can you imagine Mark Zuckerberg running the USA? I'd blow my brains out. The world will be over.
Access to the electoral roll.
Yeah. Oh my God, the data he could mine on his own. He accidentally sets a back door to every system. Yeah, I have no idea. That's a really difficult question. But I do agree that Donald Trump doing this celebrity presidency is definitely going to open the floodgates to the more well-known, people who are going to go, you know what, I have the money, I can do it. That's the main thing, which is the challenge is do they have the money to do this? Because I mean, you have to be rich, but you have to be really
who has
rich.
The money then? So Jeff Bezos has the money.
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, Bill Gates would be a great president. I'd get behind. Bill Gates seems like a really nice guy. He seems to, he believes in the causes. He is an actual person that cares about the planet that he's on, proven by the fact that he's even said he doesn't want to, he wants to die with like zero money in his bank account. He wants to give it all away to people. He has the right attitude to money, is that, everyone has money at some point in their life. We might as well do something good with it, right? Bill Gates would be great. I'd love that. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, man. Is like, so, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff, massive echo chamber of just like groupthink. And recently I find myself, digging into some conspiracies because I'm a bit like, confused.
Yeah.
Now I've just read a conspiracy about the fact that Bill Gates may have released the coronavirus because quite clearly he mentioned about pandemics 5 years ago.
No,
and you think in your head, you're like, okay, well, that's clearly not logical at all. And I understand why you'd be emotionally invested in that conspiracy because it sounds great. Isn't there a problem now with social media that like fake news is just news, and that actually what we know?
I mean that's one of the main problems that a lot of especially Facebook and stuff is that people love a headline. right? People love a headline. All you need to see is big bold letters on the page and you instantly believe it. And that's one of the main problems. And, some of the people, I mean, geez, all you have to do is look on like a typical news website like the Sun or the Daily Mail. Go on the website, turn off advert blocker, and then tell me that they aren't trying to harvest clicks for money. Like, come on now. It's insane. This is a good example. So our other business is it's like a social based business, and we have a website which reports on Netflix news and stuff like that, basically. So we got last week 1.3 million views on our website.
Wow, that's incredible, man.
In a week. Okay. All that traffic is from Facebook. Okay. We don't have that much of reach. Think about the Daily Mail, one of the biggest like news Facebook pages. The clicks that they are bringing in to their, and the ad revenue they're bringing in, would you not then get corrupt and go, well, I can do anything for a click, right? So they pick up on these fake news stories and they go, all right, well, all we need is somebody to click on it and give it one scroll, and we've made, £2 off them. And then they can go to the advertiser and say, okay, last year we had, 100 million clicks. Your advert could have been seen by this 100 million people. They aren't going to ask, oh, well, what articles were those on? They're going to say, oh, brilliant. Yeah, okay, thanks very much. Money makes everything corrupt, and especially in the news industry. Like the second that they can see that, as soon as clickbait is a thing, fake news becomes just, you cannot control it.
It's depressing as shit, man. I can't stay happy in an industry that is so just, I don't know, it feels kind of full of lies in a way. And I think this is why, particularly during lockdown, it's been really tough for me because, I care for people. I care about the social issues of the world. And I may be feeling like now I've seen so much badness in the last several months that it's almost time for me to just say no more social media. I can't deal with this anymore. I mean, how do you think our own mental health is going to evolve if social media platforms don't?
Yeah, I think the number one thing is people need to learn to regulate their use of social media. You cannot go on the way that young people do, and even people our age. You cannot go on the way that we do using social media like we do. That's the reason that I have stopped using Instagram on my personal profile, because it became obsessive. You're constantly checking crap you don't care about. You don't. If somebody mentioned this in a conversation, went, oh yeah, I saw that Terry posted a photo of him and his wife out for a walk. All right, great, fine. But as soon as that's on Instagram, they're like, oh, I like that. Thank you very much. I'm sure they're having a great time. Like, it's just stuff that you don't care about. And I feel like a lot of people feel the need to post this so that they feel like they're still in the forefront of people's minds. The same way that, when, like the pandemic started, you saw celebrities coming out of the woodwork left, right, and center because they realized, oh, hang on, I'm going to get forgotten in a minute. So I better do something good. I better do something on television so people remember that I'm still here. It's the same thing going through people's minds. Oh, I better post a Snapchat story. I better post an Instagram story in case, people forget who I am. That's what it is. It is this case that people don't want to forget who somebody is. They want to feel special. And the easiest way to do that is, through social media. Too many people think other people care. That, I don't care if you just painted your bedroom. I don't care if you've, what your granddaughter got for a birthday. If I care, I will ask you. I don't need you to post on social media for me, but they feel the need to do that.
If you don't care about it, then the question is, well, why do people feel the need to post things? And I find myself...
Because they want people to care.
But of course, we all want people to care because, like as a business owner myself, I want people to know about my business, but I'll be damned if I ever tell people that. I don't know why, because as a business owner, it sounds, oh yeah, look at that platform, go and do it. But I just feel like, is that the only way that I can actually do this? Is if I become that Gary V and I go and do craziness? Because I look at people like Logan Paul, probably one of the best, YouTubers in terms of making money. And he's not just understood it, he's lived that life 100%. And you have all these kids coming up, well, oh, we're going to do Logan Paul, we're going to do Logan Paul. And are they not just going to waste their entire life chasing a dream when they're not really understanding that it's not about the posting, it's not about the scrolling, it's about going and doing shit? I think that's the thing I'm kind of worried about. The next generation is
I mean, the dream job for most kids now is a YouTuber, right? And you can see why. Like, but again, it depends on what your ulterior motives are for that, right? If you just want to be famous, then go on Love Island. Like, if you want to be famous, go on a reality TV show. The chances are you're going to become famous. If you want to be famous for doing nothing, go and do something like that. But if people want to become YouTubers because they really love gaming and it's their outlet for doing this, being able to make a YouTube channel where they play games all day, that's what they love to do, then absolutely go for it. Like, there is nothing better, this, nothing better than doing what you love for a living, right? So if that's why some kid wants to become a Fortnite YouTuber, then go for it. But, I think that the nature of how we live now is that anything is possible to be a job, basically. And so, that's why kids want to be YouTubers and stuff like that. But I think a lot of people just want to be famous for doing nothing, and Instagram seems like an easy way to do that, right?
Yeah, and it's tough because obviously if all your family's also on Instagram, I can't imagine what it's like in lockdown with like families who are just obsessed with kind of social media. It's probably quite a lot. Listen, what's sort of best piece of advice for, I don't want to sound cliche, but like people wanting to like start out today, making content like the way that you make content, like what's something that they wouldn't probably hear anyone else talk about?
That it's really hard. Everyone makes it seem like it's really easy, and nobody ever mentions how time consuming it is, and and how much it damages relationships, with your friends, with your loved ones, because it does, it takes a toll. That's why, some CEOs go through tons of wives and, stuff like this, because it is really difficult to do what you love and create stuff without upsetting other people in the process, so I think that if you're looking to, to make stuff, to do what you love for a living, you are going to have to be prepared to, to make some sacrifices and get people in your life that understand, where your priorities lie, and to kind of share those goals with you and, help you achieve them. Because it is really, really hard. It's really hard constantly worrying whether you're going to be able to pay rent next month, or it's,
and still making videos constantly.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really difficult thing, and I think too many people say, just work at it, it'll be great. But just work at it, you'll also have a lot of mental illnesses. But it's going to be great. It'll work out one day, right? That's kind of the attitude I think you have to have, is that work out one day. As long as you put up with all the crap that goes along with it.
I love it. Wonderful answer, mate. Well, look, I mean, just lastly, what's kind of next for Fraser? What do you want to focus on in the future?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm kind of at a bit of a crossroads. We're looking at buying a house and actually like becoming an adult for once in my life. So like it's like, I think it's more of a time now for me to see what's actually working in my career and what I'm just doing because I feel the need to do it. And kind of really focusing in on what I enjoy doing and making that actually pay more than wasting my time with stuff that doesn't really need my time at all. I'm too nice to a lot of people. I kind of say, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that, when actually I don't have time for it. But I think kind of focusing on the things that have shown success, whether that's however you measure success, but focusing on those stuff and kind of growing Fraggle to be something more than just the three of us, being something that we're actually creating content on a regular basis for some really cool brands that we care about.
Living life up north, mate. I mean, this is why I miss Manchester, because it's like, you don't need a lot to be happy in Manchester, whereas in London
it's because we don't have a lot to be happy for. Currently looking outside, it's absolutely cacking it down. The only thing I have looking forward to is McDonald's for lunch. That's like the only thing that I'm looking forward to at the moment.
That's good, man. Well, look, dude, before we go, where can people find you?
You can search me out on LinkedIn, Fraser Cottrell on there, probably the easiest way for people to connect to me, or just anywhere, search my name and I'm sure I'll come up. You can check out our website, fraggleproductions.com. and find out more about what we do. And yeah, just the regular stuff. Just search my name; it'll come up somewhere.
It will come up. It's famous now, I mean, either that or the algorithms just know that I always click on you first. So
That's what it is. They know that I'm your favorite person to visit. That's exactly what it is.
I love it, dude. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I wish you, the best in the future, mate.
Cheers, dude. You too. Thank you.